General MacArthur drops an atomic bomb.
Hello everyone, welcome back. This is 1951, turn 15 for the Allies. We have the United States, once again, trying to get the B-52 bombers. They're building 2 airborne with the 101st Airborne. They're building a Marine tank and a transport, 4 tanks, a fighter, and they're repairing the damage to the factory in Turkey. NATO is buying 9 heavy tanks and 2 airborne, saving 8 IPC. And then SATO is buying 2 tanks, 2 jets, and they saved 2. All right, can the U.S. get the darn B-52s? Finally, the U.S. gets the B-52s. So, whoops. Yeah. So, I do have an America marker. All right, B-52s, I believe, are worth, I think it's 15 per bomber. I'll have to double check that, because regular bombers are worth 12, and so I think it's 14 per B-52. And right now I don't have actual B-52s. I have B-47s, but we're just calling them B-52s. So all right, we'll take a moment, we'll get the attacks all set up, and we'll get going with this turn. All right, so going over some attacks this turn. The British First Army and everybody in the north is going to once again move in on Smolensk. The U.S. 7th Army is going to take Belarus. The 6th Fleet is going to move into the Black Sea and finish off that last Russian cruiser. The 3rd Army is going into the Caucasus. SATO is going into northern Iran. A combined airborne ground defensive is going into Syria, and that is actually, and then the Army of the Rhine is moving into unoccupied Tambov. So all right, let's get going on these attacks. Should be fairly simple. Whoops, we'll back out a little bit. Okay, so we'll start with the Black Sea fight. It's a Soviet cruiser against 2 Allied destroyers, an American cruiser, an aircraft carrier, and 2 jets. Okay, so we have the aircraft carrier for 1. Misses. We got the 2 destroyers for 2. Misses. Cruiser for 3. Got the enemy cruiser, and the enemy cruiser fires back. Hits. And I think, the planes are near something. So why don't we do this just to save it? And honestly, it's only a 1, and then I just gotta move it back to I just gotta get it back to Israel. So instead, what we'll do is we'll just take the damage on the carrier using these nice new damage markers that I got from HVG. So there, we'll zoom in on it a little bit. So there's the carrier, it's damaged. And then the jets will, so he's destroyed. And the 6th Fleet moves into the Black Sea. And then I'll just take the 2 jets, since they can't conduct carrier operations. They will land up in the Ukraine with this NATO jet up there. Okay, so then we'll come down here to Syria. So that's going to be 2 mech. So it's going to be, okay, 2 mech for 1. Miss. We have a mech, an artillery, and 2 airborne for 2. And they got him. And the Russian fires back and misses. Oops. So Syria falls. That's another U.S. territory for one. Pull these out. Okay, this transport will come back to Israel. And then Sato gets the automatic grab for Northern Iran for one IPC. Get that changed out. And then we got NATO going into Tambov for one IPC. Then we have the U.S. Army going into the Caucasus. Yep, the Third Army is going into the Caucasus. And they've got two regular tanks. Whoops. I'll re-roll that. Two regular tanks for a hit. And he misses. So the U.S. Third Army, whoops, moves into the Caucasus for two. Gonna get another American marker. Okay, and then the U.S. will kind of come up here. The U.S. 7th Army will move into Belarus for one IPC. And then, obviously, with the amount of forces going against that man in Smolensk, there's no way we're not going to hit him. So he'll just roll his defense. Oh, he got a 1. So we got one of them. So that'll be one NATO mechanized infantry dead. However, Smolensk is recaptured for 1. And then I'll get these guys. Whoops. That air army still sitting there. You're there. You're there. Okay. Get these forces. Whoops. Down here. So there was another 6 tanks. Another 3 mechanized infantry. The 2 airborne units did not partake in the attack, so they'll actually just come right here and join the air army here. Whoops. Ooh. All right, so that was all the attacks this turn. So we'll go into the non-combat. So what we'll do first, so that fleet off the home islands is off the British Isles. It's going to grab those 4 infantry with their 2 transports and go 1, 2, 3. They don't have to really worry about air attack, so we'll just leave them on there. And over here in Europe, we got, let's see here, 1, 2, 3, 4. Or no, they gotta wait. Let's see here. Not gonna move any of the airborne units. The 2 bombers in Egypt, oops, are going to come up to the Ukraine. So I will chip out this NATO bomber. nothing else up here. Down here, this mechanized infantry is going to come to Iran. The NATO tank here is going to come back to Egypt. Over here, we're all good. Over here, so what we're going to do here, these 3 transport aircraft are going to take the 6 Sado airborne units and bring them to Japan to meet up with the 13th Airborne Division. The first fleet, so let's see here, how did I want to do this? So 3 of the 6 infantry, one second, I gotta remember how I was gonna do this. So 3 of the 6 infantry animals aren't having fun today. So 3 of the 6 infantry from let's do this. So 3 of the 6 infantry from the Philippines with the first fleet and the 3 tanks, they are going to, and the first fleet are going to come up and join the 7th fleet by going 1, 2, 3. They're going to join the 7th fleet up north, and they're going to drop, one second. Okay, so 3 infantry and 3 tanks are going to drop into leaving 2 transports behind there. Oof, they're really going at it. Just like this game almost. So 3 more tanks and 2 NATO infantry, or 2 Sado infantry are joining the 8th Army in North Korea, as well as this massive transport force transporting these 6 infantry to North Korea. Quite a big group there in North Korea now. We'll probably take the carrier, bring him back into the fold with the 7th fleet here. Yeah. We're gonna bring them back into the fold here. If I can get all the units set. Yep. And then here, I'm just going to take this jet and I'm going to move him to Vladivostok. These units, these American units, I want to keep just to keep a defensive pocket around Vladivostok. Other than that, something that I've been meaning to do, these 2 Sado infantry are going to go to Eastern Malaya at the north of Borneo. And then I think that's everything for this round. Yes, that should be all the non-combats. So what we're going to do next, so we have 2 tanks. We have the 2 tanks. Yeah, we have 2 tanks deploying to the Philippines with 1 more jet. And then the other Sado jet is going to deploy here in Saudi Arabia. Okay, for the Americans, they have repaired the factory in Turkey. They are putting 3 tanks. I'll just stay over here because I got another thing. They're putting 3 tanks at Vladivostok. They are putting another transport with a tank and the Marine here in C-Zone 6 with the 7th Fleet. chip that out eventually. Or I'll just do it now. Okay, so we got that. Well, let me put them in the unused pile over here. This is going to a detonator pile. All right, and then in Europe, 2 more U.S. airborne units and a fighter are dropping on Yugoslavia. NATO is deploying another airborne to Romania, and deploying another airborne to Poland, right? Yep, deploying another airborne to Poland. And then the 3 heavy tanks, or the 9 heavy tanks. So 3 for Volgograd, 3 to Leningrad. I'll just put them on the Air Force marker up there for now. And then the 3 heavies. Oh, I did forget a non-combat move. I did want to put the 7th the Shape Army into Stalingrad. Yeah. And then, like I said, the last 3 heavy tanks will be deployed out of Murmansk. All right. All in all, another finishing turn for the Allies. It's pretty much, I think, gonna be it. I think turn 16 will I'm gonna say by turn 18 the game's pretty much gonna be over. I mean, with 3 rounds of combat, there's no way that, I mean, maybe the combined Allied force will be able to destroy the combined Russian forces in Moscow, and then at least that'll be it for Russia, and then the Allies will slowly move on Peking and take that from the Chinese. So until turn 16, guys, we'll see you later.